She took a shower that morning. She did her hair. She laid her pajamas on the bathroom floor. Her hair tools were still on the counter. A damp towel was hung up. Everything in her apartment looked like a woman about to walk out the door and come back. Jennifer Kesse never came back. For 20 years, her family has searched. Law enforcement has searched. The FBI searched. NASA stepped in. Artificial intelligence is now being used. And yet, as of today, Jennifer Kesse has still not been found. This is not a story about giving up. This is a story about a family that refused to let the system bury their daughter. And right now, in 2026, for the first time in 2 decades, investigators are saying this case is no longer cold. Welcome to the Disclosed Files. And today, we are going deep.
Jennifer Joyce Kesse was born on May 20th, 1981, in New Jersey. She grew up in Tampa, Florida, graduated from Vivian Gaither High School, and went on to earn a finance degree from the University of Central Florida in 2003. By the age of 24, Jennifer had already accomplished what many people spend their entire 20s chasing. She had purchased her own condominium, Unit 270, at the Mosaic at Millennia Complex on Conroy Road in South Orlando. She had a career she loved, working as a finance manager at Central Florida Investments, a timeshare company owned by Westgate Resorts. She was described by everyone who knew her as dependable, ambitious, and safety conscious. She was in a long-distance relationship with her boyfriend, Rob Allen, who lived in Fort Lauderdale, about 3 hours away. They saw each other every weekend. The weekend before she vanished, Jennifer and Rob took a vacation together to the island of St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. By her best friend's account, she came back glowing, happy, in love. She returned to Orlando on Sunday, January 22nd, 2006. She had work the next morning. She had plans for the future. She had every reason to come home. Tuesday, January 24th, 2006. It starts like any other morning. Jennifer is up early. She showers, does her hair and makeup, and gets dressed for work. The evidence left behind confirms this. A damp towel, her pajamas on the bathroom floor, her hairstyling tools still out on the counter. She was clearly in the middle of her routine. At some point between 7:30 and 8 a.m., she leaves her apartment, carrying her keys, her cell phone, her purse, and her iPod. None of those 4 items have ever been recovered. She never arrives at work. Her coworkers wait. They try calling, no answer. By midday, they contact her family. Her parents Drew and Joyce Kesse and her brother Logan drive to her apartment. They arrive around 3 p.m. The door is locked. Her car, a black 2004 Chevrolet Malibu, is gone. They call the police. Initially, because Jennifer is an adult, police suggest she may have left on her own. Her family knows better. Jennifer called Rob every morning on her drive to work, without exception. He hadn't heard from her. That silence alone told them something was catastrophically wrong. By 5 to 7 p.m. that evening, the family is already flooding the area with flyers. A detective is dispatched. The search begins. 2 days after Jennifer disappears, a major break appears. Or rather, a major mystery begins. On Thursday, January 26th, 2006, Jennifer's black Chevrolet Malibu
is found abandoned in the parking lot of the Huntington-on-the-Green apartment complex, a separate residential complex located approximately 1 mile from Jennifer's condo. This complex at the time was known to police as a high-crime area. Inside the car, investigators find a DVD player and strands of hair. There are no obvious signs of a violent struggle inside the vehicle. A fingerprint is lifted. Possible DNA is collected. A large boot print is found near the gas pedal. Surveillance cameras at the Huntington-on-the-Green complex had recorded footage. When investigators reviewed it, they found something stunning. At approximately noon on January 24, the day Jennifer disappeared, an unidentified individual drove her car into the parking lot, sat in the vehicle for about 30 seconds, got out, and walked away. That person is now known by investigators and the true crime community as the Phantom, or in some reports, the person behind the fence. Here is why the footage is both a breakthrough and a nightmare. The surveillance camera took a photo every 3 seconds. In each frame where the person's face should be visible, a wooden fence post perfectly obstructs it. Every single frame. Their face is never seen, not once. From what is visible, investigators estimate the person is between 5 feet 1 inch and 5 feet 3 inches tall, short in stature. They're wearing dark work pants, a white t-shirt, and what appear to be construction-style work boots. No other identifying features could be confirmed.
A K-9 unit later traces a scent from outside the parking lot fence directly to a staircase leading up to Jennifer's second-floor apartment. This strongly suggests the person in that footage is connected to the complex where Jennifer lived.
Here is where this case gets deeply disturbing. At the time Jennifer went missing, the Mosaic at Melania, the complex where she lived, was still under active construction. Workers were regularly on the property. Police records confirm that some of those construction workers were permitted to live in vacant units on site. Jennifer had told her parents before her disappearance that some of the workers made her uncomfortable. They had access to her building. In some cases, they had done work directly inside her condominium. Police investigated the construction workers connected to the complex. Records show they came from multiple countries, including Jamaica, Guatemala, and other Central American nations. Investigators tracked down and interviewed dozens of individuals associated with the site. Background checks were run. Interviews were conducted. No arrests were made. The construction angle was never definitively ruled out, and it remains one of the most discussed elements of this case. The physical description of the Phantom, the work boots, the work pants, the short stature, fits the profile of a construction laborer. But without a face, without a name, the lead stalled. Jennifer's disappearance quickly became national news. Her case was featured on major outlets, including 48 Hours on CBS, America's Most Wanted, and numerous other programs. The public responded with thousands of tips. In February 2006, just 10 days after her disappearance, an anonymous donor funded a $100,000 reward for information leading to Jennifer's safe return. In 2007, David Siegel, the owner of Westgate Resorts, Jennifer's employer, offered a staggering $1 million reward for her safe return. Siegel told the family it had to be something big, because if someone still had her, it had to mean something significant to them. That reward came and went. No one came forward. The FBI joined the investigation in mid-2006 after the Orlando Police Department told the Kesse family that without new leads, the case could not move forward. Despite federal involvement, no suspect was ever publicly named.
For nearly a decade, investigators fielded leads from across the country. Jennifer's case remained open with Orlando PD.
Her family continued to appear publicly, granting interviews and keeping her name in the media. But every serious lead ended the same way: a dead end. The phantom's identity remained a mystery. The evidence from the car yielded nothing actionable with the forensic technology available at the time. By the early 2010s, Orlando PD had essentially classified the case as cold, with no active investigative momentum. In 2016, 10 years after her disappearance, the state of Florida officially declared Jennifer Kesse legally dead. Her family did not accept this as the end. They refused to stop fighting. In 2018, Drew and Joyce Kesse did something virtually unprecedented in Florida criminal law history. They sued the Orlando Police Department to force the release of Jennifer's case files. Under Florida law, active criminal investigations are exempt from public records requests. The Kesse family argued the investigation had stalled and was no longer truly active. They fought the case in court. They won. The result was the release of over 16,000 pages of investigative documents, the first successful legal challenge of its kind involving an ongoing missing persons case in Florida's history. With those files in hand, Drew Kesse assembled a private team of 13 investigators, including former U.S. Secret Service agents and former FBI agents. For nearly 2 years, that team worked through the documents, chasing leads that original detectives had missed, re-interviewing witnesses, and building a new picture of what may have happened to Jennifer. Their findings pointed in a direction. Their list of potential persons of interest began to narrow, and in November 2022, Drew Kesse presented their work to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the FDLE. The FDLE agreed to take over the case. In December 2022, the case was formally transferred to the FDLE's Cold Case Missing Persons Division. Specifically, Special Agents Spears and Minor were assigned to Jennifer's case. What followed was the most intensive and organized investigation the case had ever seen. Over the next 2 years, FDLE agents conducted over 60 interviews. They re-examined all previously collected physical evidence. They reopened leads that had gone cold. They pursued new leads the family's private team had identified. They also enlisted the help of NASA. That's right, NASA was brought in to enhance the surveillance footage from the Huntington on the Green parking lot. Using advanced image processing technology, NASA analysts were able to confirm that Jennifer's car was missing from her complex's parking area on the morning of January 24, and that it later appeared at the Huntington on the Green complex. While the work improved the quality of the footage analysis, the phantom's face remained concealed by the fence. Meanwhile, the family pushed investigators to try artificial intelligence tools. Drew Kesse said he had been requesting this for 2 years before it happened. In July 2025, FDLE confirmed they were now working with a reputable AI company to analyze the entire case file. The AI was being used to identify connections across the 16,000 pages of documents and to attempt enhanced identification from the surveillance footage. May 20th, 2025. Jennifer Kesse's 44th birthday. On that exact date, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement made an announcement that sent shockwaves through the true crime community. Jennifer Kesse's case is no longer considered cold. Drew Kesse received a call from FDLE. Investigators told him they had found DNA on evidence that had never been tested. Evidence that had been sitting in storage for nearly 2 decades, never subjected to modern forensic analysis. More than that, they told him they had narrowed the list of persons of interest down to a very short list. After interviewing over 60 people and cross-referencing with the private team's research, FDLE said they had been able to disqualify the vast majority of individuals through investigations and interrogations. Drew Kesse called it huge. He said, and I want you to hear this directly, "We're not at Jennifer yet, but we're excited. We're finally going in the right direction."
In October 2025, the Kesse family shared an update via Facebook. FDLE had met with them personally. Agents confirmed the untested DNA was being processed. The suspect pool had been narrowed even further. Drew Kesse said FDLE was, quote, "going fast and furious." He added that they praised the work of Special Agents Spears and Minehair for their dedication to the case. 3 production companies also approached the Kesse family about a documentary. The family selected one group, and as of late 2025, production was underway. Drew Kesse said plainly, "I want Netflix." January 24th, 2026, the 20th anniversary of Jennifer Kesse's disappearance. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement issued a formal statement confirming they continue to actively investigate the case. FDLE Orlando Special Agent in Charge Felipe Williams stated, "Investigators are methodically pursuing leads, analyzing evidence, and conducting interviews. Their primary focus," he said, "is finding Jennifer and bringing justice." Evidence from the car is being re-examined using 2026 forensic technology, including touch DNA analysis. In 2006, touch DNA, skin cells left on a steering wheel or door handle, could not be reliably detected. Today, that technology can build a DNA profile from contact that was entirely invisible 20 years ago. FDLE has moved from 0 named suspects to a specific short list of persons of interest. The 16,000 pages of documents have been processed through AI. The surveillance footage has been analyzed by NASA and AI alike. No arrests have been made, but the landscape of this case in 2026 looks nothing like it did in 2016 or even 2022.
Let's be precise. Here is what the physical and investigative record confirms. 1. Jennifer Kesse was last seen at or near her apartment at Mosaic at Melania between approximately 7:30 and 8 a.m. on January 24th, 2006. The evidence inside her apartment confirms she had showered, dressed, and was preparing to leave for work. 2. Her 4 personal items, keys, cell phone, purse, and iPod, have never been recovered. Her cell phone has never pinged a tower after the morning of January 24th. 3. Her black 2004 Chevrolet Malibu was found abandoned at the Huntington-on-the-Green apartment complex, approximately 1 mile from her home on January 26th. 4. Surveillance footage captured an unidentified individual parking her car at that complex around noon on January 24th and walking away. This person's face has never been identified. Their height is estimated between 5'1" and 5'3". They were wearing dark work pants, a white t-shirt, and construction-style boots. 5. A canine scent trail led from outside the Huntington-on-the-Green fence directly to the staircase of Jennifer's apartment building at Mosaic at Melania. 6. A fingerprint and possible DNA were collected from the car in 2006. Additional untested DNA evidence was identified in 2025. 7. Jennifer had previously expressed discomfort around construction workers at her complex, some of whom had worked inside her unit.
8. No arrests have ever been made. No suspects have ever been publicly named. Jennifer Kesse was 24 years old. She had a degree, a career, her own home, and a person she loved. She was cautious. She was smart. She did everything right. And somebody still took her. For 20 years, her parents, Drew and Joyce Kesse, have not stopped. Drew was 48 years old when this started. He's now approaching 70. He has spent more of his life searching for his daughter than she was alive. If you have any information about Jennifer Kesse's disappearance, the FDLE is actively investigating. You can call the FDLE Orlando office at 407-245-0888. You can email OROC Cold Case Tips at fdle.state.fl.us. There is still a reward for information leading to her whereabouts. This case is not closed. This family is not finished. And Jennifer Kesse deserves to be found. If this episode moved you, share it. And if you know something, please speak up. 20 years is long enough. I'll see you on the next case.